Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and this is going to be a fantastic one. I'm super stoked and excited to share this game with you. It's going to be on the pit, and we've got Fitzbro here on the right side of the map in red, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and on the west side of the map, in search of sunrise, playing in teal as the French. He will certainly be looking for that sunrise in this matchup, but will the sunrise over France or be rising over the Delhi Sultanate? Fitzbro, of course, very adept and very skillful with the Delhi Sultan. It's going to showcase for us today how he can fare up against the French on the pit. And you guys, I'm sure will know Fitzbro, a fantastic content creator, caster, player of the game, streams on Twitch, has a YouTube channel with plenty of Age of Empires 4 content. So we'll be dropping a link to his channel in the video description. Do check it out if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you probably already have anyway. And we're going to be showcasing some of his gameplay today. We've got Fitzbro just going to be shooting that scout, looking to get some valuable information. There is the age up gong there for In Search of Sunrise. I'm sure we're going up with the School of Cavalry. And it is indeed the School of Cavalry. It's got a very interesting build actually. Very interesting build indeed. Only 3 villagers on gold. And a heck of a lot of villagers on food. 8 actually is quite typical this stage. Only 1 villager on wood. So it's interesting that he's only gone for 3 on gold. He should be able to afford 1 early night, but I don't think he's going to be committing that hard. Maybe looking to get a second town centre relatively early. We shall see. Building the School Cavalry with 4 villagers. Scout just harassing the villagers on gold. But Fitzbro, he's not having any of that. He's going to push back with his own scout. Tower of Victory. Now this is what we love. All you guys have been watching me play with the Tower of Victory, and now all of a sudden all these guys are doing it. I've said it a long time ago, Tower of Victory is not too bad if you're expecting a lot of feudal age aggression. Obviously long term, long run, long games, you really want that Dome of the Faith for the scholars. But Tower of Victory, guys, I really think it's had a bad reputation, especially now that it works. Okay, of course there was bugs with the Delhi Sultanate, it wasn't even working, but now that it works, there's 20% attack speed buff on the melee and ranged infantry. It's really powerful, and it can often catch people off guard. The extra DPS there is not to be snuffed at, and I'm liking what I see, Fitzbro. I'm liking what I see. Of course, now this is coming to rise, this landmark, especially having seen 3DB showcase it in the Road to Red Bull Wololo, who's been doing fantastic. Hats off to 3DB, who's such a great theory crafter, great kind of connoisseur of Age of Empires 4, changing the meta, off meta, playing the game that he wants to play, dictating the pace. And we're going to see Fitzbro perhaps following in his shoes, showing us what he can do with the Tower of Victory. But in search of sunrise, he'll be continuing his search for that sunrise as he gets the landmark, the School of Cavalry. Night's going to be popping out soon, 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes on the clock, and that night will be coming up to harass some villagers for Fitzbro. Fitzbro, we need to be careful. He's not in the feudal age himself just yet. We'll need to get there quickly and think about getting that barracks down. He will be able to afford it relatively soon, but he will need it pretty quickly because those knights will be coming in. Now, interestingly enough, Fitzbro has gone for 2 scouts. I think he likes that 2 scout play, and so do I. It does give you that massive amount of vision, and of course can bring you extra sheep. Of course, the Delhi will be suitable, kind of more attracted to the berries, but you will need sheep, especially if you against the French, and as you can see, already being pushed off key external resources in terms of gold. I mean, to be fair, the Delhi won't necessarily need gold in this situation. He just needs that food and wood. Getting that barracks down, but where is that knight? It should be coming in right about now. Where indeed is that knight? Well, let's take a look on that. Yeah, the knight is coming in now. Going to be looking towards harassing the berries, and this is an issue because what's curious though is that Fitzbro has actually decided to put his barracks away from the Tower of Victory. Now the Tower of Victory is a landmark whereby the units have to be within the radius, so we might see that Fitzbro rallies his spearmen in that radius. He's getting his second barracks in that area. I suspect he's keeping his barracks there because he wants to create a bit of a choke point with the wood line. We commonly see this happening. Spearmen there will actually deny the entrance for the knights, and he's actually going to wall up this right side in a nice manner here. Will be key resources will be on the outside of that wall, but as we know, these static defenses offer a lot of protection, and really you can dictate the pace of the game and your expansions with them. Just build a gate, and then you can head out into the open if you wish. 2 spearmen are going to be trying to chase down this knight. Royal Knight does back off, and now Fitzbro looking strong. He's not put under too much pressure. The French, on the other hand, are going to be getting the strong economy behind this. Let's just see what upgrades he's getting. Getting wheelbarrow now, and no signs of a second town centre just yet. Continues to produce those knights, it seems. I think he's got more than 1. But you know, he's actually only just gone for the one knight, looking just to harass. Going for the deer, the pocket eco that the French often do. It does only appear to be one knight. Oh no, it's actually a couple more. Yeah, we did hear that coming out. So 3 of them. Spearman for Fitzbro in good positions here. The mining camp does go down though. Not ideal for Fitzbro. Gonna need another 50 wood investment. As you can see now, this spearman has been buffed there. Attack speed increased by 20%. Have these been buffed there? These ones haven't though, so that's one issue. Not having the barracks around that Tower of Victory can be a bit of a concern, not using that buff sometimes, but of course I'm sure if Fitzbro is looking to go on the aggression and go forward, he will actually bring his army there first before heading out. Knights are going to push the villagers off of the wood, which is not ideal. He needs that wood income to be able to produce those spearmen, although they do primarily cost food, but he needs that eco running. He doesn't want to have that idle time, but Knight does go down. Overall, not too bad. In Search of Sunrise, we'll be happy with that. Not necessarily happy with losing the Knight, but he did create a bit of idle time, causing Fitzbro to commit to another lumber camp, which he'd need to do that anyway, because of course there's not much wood left on this wood line. Right, things have calmed down a bit now. In Search of Sunrise heading back. Will we see that second town centre? That is indeed what's happening, sending 10 villagers to that stone. Get that second town centre. Don't forget the town centres already run faster than the other civilizations for the French. So 32 villagers for In Search of Sunrise, 28 for Fitzbro. Fitzbro, pretty hard house there. We need that house to be rushed down. We'll build 2 at a time. And now he's going to head back into gold, but he's going to need that mining camp. Is he aware that he doesn't have one? That's going to be, yeah, he's aware. Quite a few hardened spearmen now in defense. Looking to shore up his base. I don't know if all of them have, I think the majority have that Tower Victory buff of the 20 attack speed. He's going to build some palisades walls, going to extend the feudal age for as long as he can. I mean, that tends to be what the Delhi do. Has got efficient production in. Getting Sanctity now. Using scholars to be in the mosque instead to get those research times quicker. But with that second town centre, the French should be able to do some damage here. Especially if he can build up the eco lead and build that into army in the future as the game wears on. Right, getting those walls down, and I really like this bonus for the Delhi, using those spearmen to get those palisade walls down, getting the blacksmith now as well, going to be getting those upgrades. Relatively late blacksmith, all things considered, but it's understandable because of the amount of pressure he's on. He's getting an archer range within the influence of the Tower of Victory as well. So those archers will be buffed, and we do see that second town centre going on the berries there for In Search of Sunrise, playing as the French. Sanctity coming in. I would be interested to see if Fitzbro does look to kind of head out there to get those sacred sites. We can see one on the left, one in the centre of the pit, and one on the right. Oh, looks like the French might be looking to get that boar. See that commonly being done now by the French, has to be said. We saw 3DB doing it on the weekend in the July finals, which I have casted by the way, so do check out the YouTube channel if you're interested in watching that if you haven't already, but I'd be surprised if you haven't. But it is a fantastic tournament hosted by EGC TV. Now, we see the spearmen going to be walling up this right side, and that's actually quite key to have the map control like that. Knight actually going to be pulling back, not looking to snipe that scholar, which is a bit surprising, but spearmen do see that. A couple of spearmen going to head back. The Knight won't be able to get too much joy. Might be able to get a charge attack, but not much more than that. Scholars are moving together in unison. We'll be able to heal each other even if they are under attack, but Fitzbro has us all covered. That is for sure, and he's going to get the walls up in a very nice spot there on the right side. He's going to have a lot of eco saved and safe and sound, a lot of stone to be taken. Though to be fair, most of the resources are on the left side for Fitzbro. That has to be considered. A lot of real estate on this right side that has been protected by these walls. Okay, one sacred site has been captured. Will he go for the middle one? Will he go for the one on the left? Search of Sunrise, just keeping a scout and a knight there on the left side, just keeping an eye on things. Population will be really starting to build up for In Search of Sunrise. 35 villages for Fitzbro, 45 for In Search of Sunrise. It does take time for those villagers to pay themselves back. Fitzbro rather cleverly keeping an eye on things on the relic and the gold and the berries on that right side. You'll see the pocket ecos here. A couple of archers coming out now for In Search of Sunrise. Definitely the answer to all these spearmen. A heavy investment in spearmen there, but it's understandable. I suspect Fitzbro will be adding some archers into the mix, and that is the role of this archer range. A lot of archers queued up there, spending his wood. Running into problems here though if he takes his fight. Probably won't want to. In Search of Sunrise might be debating him a little bit with the knights, but he does have a decent amount of archers here in Search of Sunrise to take a fight. Could certainly take some spearmen out of the mix here. In fact, he's actually going to head back. He's going to lose the outpost. Doesn't delete it. That's a rather a messy loss of 100 wood there. And Fitzbro going to just torch down this mill as well, pushing In Search of Sunrise back to the eco he has on the left side. Does have 2 town centres though, so In Search of Sunrise won't want to rush in with his army too quickly. Want to bide his time, build up his army, use the defender's advantage. So Fitzbro trying to wall In Search of Sunrise in, he will actually do that, but the archers behind will be taking out some of the spearmen. Fitzbro does have to head back, loses 1 or 2 spearmen. The wall doesn't get up in time, which is a bit of a shame because it's quite a heavy lot of wood investment. In fact, actually the walls do get up in time, but Search of Enemy is going to be sieging this down, and it'll be interesting to see if Fitzbro is looking to be even further aggressive with a ram or 2. Doesn't really have the wood for that. I'm not sure if he has siege engineering. He does have it coming in, so Fitzbro has prioritized siege engineering over iron undermesh and the other blacksmith upgrades. So he's certainly looking to be aggressive in the feudal age, walling on the right side as well. This right side is very, very well protected for him, has to be said. Center though, not so much. Villagers. Actually, there are no villagers because spearmen are being used to build those walls. The center is being moved back by Fitzbro. He's actually going to head back though. You could just get that sacred site if you can. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fitzbro just save up on a bit of wood there to get a ram out on the right side. On the centre of the map, the archers will be pushing forward for In Search of Sunrise. Should be able to get some damage here because there's not enough archers here for Fitzbro, you feel. Archers really be able to do some damage here. We'll be able to snipe 1 scholar, maybe even the second. Oh, that sacred site just gets caught. And that is quite significant for Fitzbro. Now the archers take a fight. The spearmen are going to try and rush in, but they're going to be microed down. And Fitzbro won't want to rush in too quickly with those spearmen. The spearmen will go down, but the archer numbers here too good for In Search of Sunrise. This is not a good fight for Fitzbro. Despite having the 20% attack speed, this is probably not what he wants to take. He does have an army coming in from behind though with spearmen. Spearmen taking out the reinforcement knights that are coming in. And overall not a bad trade for In Search of Sunrise at all. He's going to micro this down, and the archers are starting to dwindle here for Fitzbro. He's adding the reinforcements though. He does have that slight defender's advantage because of the distance, but now In Search of Sunrise is going to take out a lot of spearmen here. This is a very costly fight for Fitzbro, and he's going to try and commit to it though. Rather surprising. He does have quite a few spearmen, getting quite a lot of melee damage to be fair. There's a scout involved. Does have the numbers. In Search of Sunrise is going to take a decent trade, but he will lose it all. And Fitzbro cleaning this up very nicely. You can just see the defender's advantage really paying off here. Committing to a second archery range, and he's got 3 scholars at the moment. I'm surprised he hasn't got another mosque producing more scholars. He's got a lot of gold there floating. Maybe looking to get to the castle age, doesn't have the food. Would be nice to have a market to just rebalance that economy. But Fitzbro going to be pushing forward. He's actually going to complete these walls in the centre of the map. Now, he's looking in a very strong position with those 2 sacred sites on the left side. In Search of Sunrise. Going for the boar, I believe, with that food on the left side. Search of Sunrise wants to go back out there on the right side. There's lots of deer patches there to be had. He's going to siege that down, torch it down with the villagers. But Fitzbro looking strong here. 33 military on the field, but what has to be said is that as the game goes on, In Search of Sunrise will be looking strong. 62 villagers, 64. Only 14 military though. This game is a military game. You run the risk of being caught out if you don't have that military on the field. Has knights, has archers. The typical combination for the French, but he needs to be careful now. The French are going to be losing lots of villagers. His villager lead will be dwindling here. Lots of idle time. Villagers going down to the archers, and now the knights are going to try and sweep in. But there are spearmen on the front lines there for Fitzbro, looking to do some damage. But In Search of Sunrise, if he can take out the spearman mass, the knights can get in, gets the charge attack. But if Fitzbro keeps the spearman mass alive, which it does seem like he will, then he'll be looking strong. It looks like the archer numbers aren't great enough for In Search of Sunrise. Now the fight being taken by Fitzbro, he won't mind that at all. There are spearmen on the front line with the archers in behind. It might not be enough spearmen though, because there is a couple of archers there still there. Spearmen do go down. That's a problem for In Search of Sunrise. But for Fitzbro rather. In Search of Sunrise pushing forward with the knights, getting a charge attack. Fitzbro going to retreat behind the walls. And this is the importance of creating those gates so that you have that retreating point. But the knights getting good value there on the right side. Fitzbro just now transitioning to his farming economy, just on 1 town centre so far. Interesting game so far in the feudal age. I do love this matchup. French versus Delhi, you often get this feudal aggression in both players, and it's just heavy feudal play. It's exciting to watch, that's for sure, but it will be a race to castle age now, you get the feeling. Especially with In Search of Sunrise, with that food count, you suspect he's eyeing it up. But we shall see just how many villages he has in gold, just the 9 so far. Fitzbro floating a lot of gold. Get the feeling that Fitzbro, if he just idles his production just for a few minutes, he'll be able to get at the castle age. 32 villagers on food in total. It's rather a lot. Well, so plenty of gold coming in from the sacred sites. When Fitzbro doesn't actually have any villagers on gold, that's the power of the Delhi Sultanate and the sacred sites. That is 300 gold per minute, passively now. That's the equivalent of almost about 8 villages. It will narrow the gap between the eco difference, but that eco difference is starting to show. If the military numbers do start to build up for In Search of Sunrise, that could become a problem in the later game. Fitzbro does feel like he's a bit of a timer here, because whilst he does have quite a lot of military numbers, Search of Sunrise does have 2 town centres with lots of villages, and that eco will be stronger here. The question is, will we see that castle age coming in soon for Fitzbro? I suspect he might even come quicker for In Search of Sunrise. Third town centre looking to be taken by Fitzbro here. He will see this. That's actually really significant because he will see the ball being taken. That means those villagers are at risk. And I wonder whether Fitzbro is going to send some army there. Fitzbro ready to age up, and let's just see what he goes with. He's going with the compound of the defender. We see the style here for Fitzbro, looking to get footholds in the map with those walls. And it doesn't surprise me too much going for the compound of the defender. Will enable cheaper castles and be able to have those walls being built on the ground by his infantry. Doesn't actually have any stone at all, has to be said, but the archers are going to do well to take out the archers for In Search of Sunrise. And this is a great fight for Fitzbro. He's taken a lot of army out here that was trying to retreat for In Search of Sunrise. Search of Sunrise trying to run in again, charging in with his knights. Spearmen preoccupied to try and take out the rams. Spearmen do get in position now, and this fight is looking good for Fitzbro. The numbers just look so great. The archer numbers really starting to build up now for Fitzbro. He's done fantastic work to produce those, and the archers now for In Search of Sunrise go down. This is not a fight that In Search of Sunrise can take, and it looks like he's throwing away a lot of numbers here. Despite the eco lead, his eco has been pumped into these army, and these armies will go down if he's not careful. But the spearmen numbers do go down now. Fitzbro didn't quite have the right balance there. Didn't have enough spearmen, but the archers will be able to retreat behind those walls. And this is such a fantastic way to play the Delhi. He has that constant reinforcement that he can add to his army, but also fall back behind his walls. Some of the knights will be taken out now. Don't forget, these archers, whilst they only tickle the knights, they do a decent amount of damage. These are only feudal age knights. Having said that, castle age now is in for Fitzbro. And In Search of Sunrise just struggling with his eco balance. He's got plenty of food, but hasn't clicked up to the next stage just yet. And I'm sure he'll want to do that soon because he's lagging behind in army quality, especially now that Fitzbro is in the castle age. You get the feeling that, oh, it's going to lose the villages there. Because the villages on the board do go down. They got decent value on the board, half of it taken, but they lost a lot of their lives there. Let's take a look at the village count. 78 for In Search of Sunrise, 51 for Fitzbro. In Search of Sunrise, is he ever going to go to the next stage? Really does need to. He needs more villagers and gold. Hasn't got the macro here on point in terms of his resource split. Is now looking to go to the next stage. What will it be? Will it be the Royal Institute or will it be the Guild Hall? It remains to be seen. He's trying to wall up this left side. But he's been pigeonholed so much, and it's very unusual, uncharacteristic of the French, who are usually the more aggressive, forcing their opponents being pinned in. And he's actually going to go for the Guild Hall, expecting the late game. And actually, to be fair, if you are the French in this situation, this matchup, that's probably what you want to aim for. Delhi Sultanate kind of tail off in the Imperial Age. They're not known for their Imperial Age prowess. But relics are being picked up at Fitzbro, and this is an incredible part of macro that Fitzbro has implemented in this particular game. Going for those relics now that he's in the castle age. He's got that age up timing. You can see 2 relics being brought in now, so the gold income really going to be fast for him. Already has 2 sacred sites. Could even consider getting this third one on the left side again. That new age does come in for In Search of Engine though. Sunrise rather. We'll be seeing what his army composition will be looking like. Spearmen versus archers. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one indeed. And with this army composition, I think if you're In Search of Engine, yes, sure, the French get very good knights, but really, straight up archers will win here. Having said that, in the castle age brings about new challenges, and those new challenges will be Fitzbro's man-at-arms and crossbows. That is significant. I wonder how much commitment there's going to be to the man-at-arms. It's actually quite a significant one. Yeah, man-at-arms, crossbows, and Fitzbro's economy is looking fantastic. Imperial Age might be on the cards for him. I'd be surprised if Fitzbro does go for the Imperial Age. He doesn't necessarily need to force that. Well, he might do. He's stonewalling everything. Maybe looking to get a Sacred Site victory, and that is indeed what he's looking to do. In Search of Sunrise in trouble here. He is not pressuring at all, and is letting Fitzbro do Fitzbro things with the Delhi Sultanate to get those stone walls up. That is not something you want to happen if you're the French in this situation. And Fitzbro could even think about going to the Imperial Age, and even if he doesn't, he could certainly afford a lot of army here. Just the one town centre all game. Surprising he's been able to afford so much. He's just done so well at keeping his army alive here, Fitzbro. In Search of Sunrise does need that sun to come over his French civilization. He needs a new dawn, a new era, new management, because he needs to push forward and needs to push hard. He's going to try to do so in the middle with the ram, but will that be enough? Let's take a look at the village count. 98 for In Search of Sunrise, 59 for Fitzbro. You can see a significant lead there for In Search of Sunrise, but it's not villagers that wins games, guys. It is military. And now, speaking of military, there is an engagement here, but Fitzbro has all the right answers. He has got man-at-arms against the archers, and he's got crossbows against the knights. And a forward keep put down by Fitzbro, going to offer him a lot of protection here. The ram will be able to get through that stone wall, but you just get the feeling Fitzbro will take that out and build another stone wall in behind. Going to send a decent number of villagers, 12 of them, to build that keep. Ram does break through, but will the army run in there? I don't think they can really, because the army is countered by what Fitzbro has. That is a significant problem. The knights are going to rush in. This could be the decisive fight in the match. You hear the relics being plonked in the mosque. 3 of them, 3 sacred sites and 3 relics. Fitzbro is getting an extortionate amount of gold without having a single villager on that resource. The ram gets taken down. The keep will be going up, and now In Search of Sunrise is going to be in need of searching for answers to this problem, because he is stonewalled out on the left side. It's got to be the right side, the palisade walls. That's the weakest link for Fitzbro. He's going to get looking to get more stone walls in the center. And you just get the feeling that In Search of Sunrise a little bit pigeonholed, a little bit tunnel visioned here in the middle of the map. Crossbows should be able to do some damage against the knights. Archers in behind. Spearmen there as well, and Fitzbro won't mind this at all. He won't mind taking a trade here. The knights try and dive in, but indecisiveness is paying off for Fitzbro, because it means his range units can take those damage. It can fire out those damage, fire out those bolts on those knights, and cause those knights to disintegrate into the ash, into the ground. As you can see there, they're going to disappear any second now. Fitzbro looking in a commanding position here. In Search of Sunrise needs another mode of attack, possibly the right side. It just looks like he's focused on the center. Fitzbro getting some tower elephants now, looking in a strong position despite being economically behind. Militarily, he is certainly ahead. 73 military for Fitzbro, 34 for In Search of Sunrise. He's macroing too hard here. Needs the army numbers. Doesn't quite have it. He's in trouble here. Might lose out on the sacred site. Don't have the sacred site timer, which is rather frustrating. And the middle sacred site seems to be very nicely secured. Another mosque there in the center. Going to be getting boiling oil, and be looking to get village fortresses as well, I suspect. There's that Imperial Age for In Search of Sunrise, so that does give him a tech advantage, but will it be quick enough? He'll need that army out on the field. The problem for In Search of Sunrise is that his army is completely countered. He's got knights, which are countered by the tower elephants and the crossbows. He's got some archers, which are countered by, well, just the archers from Fitzbro, really. Gonna go for the left side now, and yeah, In Search of Sunrise is missing a key detail here. It's the right side that is the weakest link. Gonna go for the left instead. Let's have a keep on the left side though. We'll offer a staging ground to attack from. Out of farming economy, but he is on a timer here In Search of Sunrise, and the issue here for Fitzbro is that he doesn't need to pressure, he just needs to hold, and by pushing in the middle it gives In Search of Sunrise a dilemma. Does he go for the left side to try and decap that sacred site, or does he risk losing his main economy? Does he fight back? He gets a charge attack, but it runs right into Spearmen, which is not what he wants. The crossbows in behind for Fitzbro, taking massive damage on those knights. The archer's not getting as much damage as he needs to. In Search of Sunrise going to struggle here. Now Fitzbro dives right in for the town centre with the tower elephants and the spearmen and man-at-arms. The right side though, In Search of Sunrise is going to be walling this off rather than trying to break through. Does have an outpost there. Fitzbro looking to bide his time, looking to take out this town centre. And if he does, that's going to be a problem. Scholars are there for Fitzbro. Doesn't need that Dome of the Faith landmark. He continues to produce them. And as you can see, these crossbows are boosted here. So these aren't just normal crossbows, ladies and gents. These are boosted by that Tower of Victory. 20% extra attack speed makes them incredibly strong. The knights are going down. In Search of Sunrise, struggling here, struggling to the point that you expect the town centers to disintegrate here. In the middle, maybe going to be tapping out very soon because this feels disastrous for Sunrise. He's in Search of Sunrise in this game. It doesn't look like he's found it. In fact, it looks like the Delhi Sultanate will be getting the one up on the French here, getting rid of that town center. Fitzbro pushing hard in the center of the map with his archers. Tower of Victory having a great influence here in this victory, and In Search of Sunrise is pulling back with his army. He's looking in trouble. I'm not sure he has a way back into this game, and now the second town center looking to be under fire for In Search of Sunrise. He's been searching for it in this game, but it doesn't seem like he's going to find it, and he doesn't. The sun rises over the Delhi Sultanate in this game. The French go down. Fitzbro gets the win. I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. I'm really enjoying casting Age of Empires 4 right now, so I hope you guys are enjoying them too. Hopefully, I shall see you guys on the next casted game.